This is the Bar Stewards Enquiry.
Right? You're talking absolute rubbish. Absolute rubbish.
In what way?
You were an underachiever in life. I saved your bacon one time. You were gone.
You handled that well. I couldn't save you. But you did the right thing.
But that's why you don't know anything about racing, John.
I didn't say I do.
Right?
I'm saying that...
What have you contributed to racing? You're one of these take-out merchants. Take out all you can.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. Yes, it's the Bar Stewards Enquiry Weekend podcast where we've got Warwick, Kempton and Weatherby for you this weekend on what is quite a decent weekend's national hunt racing. We've had a stop-start sort of January so far with the weather, etc. So it's nice to get three cards underway tomorrow that actually offer a bit of nice national hunt racing for us. And joining me to match the exploits of the likes of Andy Richmond and Chris Gartner are Nev and Adam Norman, as well as John, of course. Good evening, chap.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, Neville, I see you had a runner on Thursday.
Took Henry to Seville. He just found the trip a bit too short, really. Ideally wants 2 miles, but you just can't you can't pick and choose where the race is. You take what's coming up, and a mile 6 for him round there was probably half a mile too short, but we're going to get him schooled up now.
He wants soft ground and a pace for me, don't you think? Soft ground and a pace?
Yeah, he ideally wants soft ground, but anything so. He's ran to his rating on the Tapiter yesterday, so I can't really say he desperately wants it soft. He just wants really a stamina test.
So, Adam, I hear you've been paddocking snouting this week in North Yorkshire. Did you manage to smuggle your ham and piccalilli sandwiches in your sock to these venues?
Yes, well, we've got our own tactics of sneaking stuff in these days. So every track has its own little Hitler to try and grab your food and drink off you. But we have our ways and means. Yeah.
You particularly love beating the Doncaster people, don't
you? Absolute filth. Those Townmore,
the
Townmore scumbags. Yeah. We're okay. We're okay. We're hanging in there.
Yeah, John, your week been good?
Yeah, I've hardly had a bet, so it's been smashing.
I heard, one of your mates told me this morning, John, that you did a big smile the other day and got it out of the way. I'm here all night. Right, let's get on with it. That's enough for me now. We've heard enough. Time to listen to these three fine gentry. Including some good bets in our best bets round. This is where it's 1, 2 and 3 points. And hopefully we can keep up that 49% return on investment at Fantasy Island prices the night before. We love those prices. So, 1 point round, here we go. I'm going to come to Adam Norman first for yours, mate.
Okay, Weatherby isn't a brilliant punting card, I didn't think, Lee. But this one is from Weatherby, and it's straightforward enough. It's a value play on this Towton chase. The second race on the card, the 110. I don't think the market's right here, to be honest. Colonel Harry is a very short price. We've all got an opinion on that race. That he was second in last time, that Grade 1 at Sandown. I prefer Trelawney here. I think Kim Bailey's a very big fan of this horse, and I just think from a price perspective, they're pretty much upside on what they've achieved. And I actually think that Trelawney, is a good bet here. The worry is perhaps the weakness of the Bailey yard at the moment. They're not really doing too great. But I'm a little bit hesitant to sort of just put a line through horses because the yard's a little bit cold. He may not have had too many fancied horses. Bass has come up here to ride. I think he could have had 1 or 2 other rides elsewhere. I think that's quite telling. I like the Cheltenham form last time out. And I think he's a really good value bet against this Colonel Harry. So 1 point to win Trelawney in the 110 at Weatherby.
Yeah, and Bass is like Babe Ruth in the saddle, and he doesn't miss. 100 to 30, even though there's less smacks these days. Poor Dave Bass. He loves getting stuck into them. So yeah, good start for Adam, opposing the obvious odds-on shot, Colonel Harry in the Towton at Weatherby. Nev, coming to you for your 1 pointer, please.
My 1 pointer goes at Warwick in the Pertemps Network qualifier. This type of race used to have at least double-figure runners and sometimes as many as 20 in the race. But this season they've been down on the numerically. There are only 8 declared for the 149 at Warwick. And I'm going to row in with a horse that's in form, but also from a yard that are absolutely firing, a small yard, Mel Rowley's team. And Kintara, who was with Kim Bailey up until the start of this season, has returned back to Rowley's yard, having won a maiden point to point in 2020. It looks like Kintara's come back better than ever, wins at Lingfield and then at Aintree, and that race at Aintree has worked out really well. Admittedly, the handicapper has had his say, and Kintara is now £6 higher, but I don't believe we have yet to see really the best of this horse. Has got winning form around Warwick, won a bumper by 17 lengths, so that the track isn't a problem. And when the handicapper first assessed Kintara, when the horse was in training with his previous yard, they gave him 129. Well, he runs off 124 and he looks better than ever. It's not the strongest heat. We've got a previous Pertemps, I think Pertemps winner in Third Wind, who's back after 600 plus days. It's not the strongest race. And I think Kintara, even though it's an 8-year-old, is still open to improvement. So I think it's worth chancing. That's my bet number 3, my third weakest over the weekend.
And that's 3-1. That's with Coral, Baldy, and Ladbrokes, and of course ridden by the thinning thatch roof head in Charlie Dutch. So yeah, a fine horseman, as you've commented on before, Nev.
What's that got to do with it?
We just commented on his sort of appearance. You shave it off, Nev, and look like a warrior. Looks like some MMA then, kickboxing. John, carried on this 1 point round, please.
Listeners will be delighted to know I'm exclusively over the sticks this weekend. That's how bad the all-weather scene is. And the first one is at Weatherby in the 325, and I'm going with Here Comes the Man. This ponched up in April at Newcastle. Then the jockey got in a mess the next time. He gave the leader too much rope and then had a panic attack and went for him too early and what have you, and it was all a bit of a write-off. This year, he was fizzy enough on both the seasonal debut, and there was still a bit of fizz in him last time, but he did strip fitter. Should be spot on now, really, and he's only £3 higher than the day he did the ponce up job in April, so he ought to go well here. 1 point win.
Nice 10-1 generally available there, John. Wish you well with that one. In the 325 at Warwick. About 1 point goes in the Lanzarote. That's the 242 race at Kempton and already put out on Bar Steward's Edge this week. I do feel that Mark of Gold is well worth a look at around the 14-1 mark. Was 20-1 earlier in the week. I still think 14s is a bit of value. If you check out the Martin Pipe form from the festival last year, it's very strong form. When you've got horses like Good Luck Charm down the bottom at shorter prices, Sonny Gino, who's a bit of a ponce, Impose Trois is the right favourite, has lots of scope to improve, but I don't see how this is 14s because we know he's an improving type because when he came back on the flat of 73 and absolutely dotted up at Goodwood, he was in savage order in the summer. He's not been off the last twice, completely just not at the races. Obviously, this is his derby. He's been trained for this, and I expect Mark of Gold to go very well. 1 point win, 14-1. But if you want to take advantage of the generous place terms, please feel free to do so. Some are going 6 and 7 places, Sky Bet, I think, so it's crackers. But there we go, Mark of Gold to finish the round. John, I'll swing it straight back round to you, please. 2 points.
Oh my God, I was just thinking about ordering a Chinese. I'm over to Fairy House for the next one, and I'm a little bit disappointed because the price has already been nibbled. 122 Fairy House. Where's Frankie? Well, he was on Piers Morgan Uncensored last night, for starters. 2 good efforts warming up for this, I thought. The latest under Blackmore was very encouraging. Back with his favourite pilot here, Mailer, who won him 3 times in 2022. Including over this trip. And I think this is the key tomorrow because he's got plenty going for him. Loads of his rivals have had duck chances to win races, wearing gear. Fairy House is a stiff old track. You need to see it out, and there's not many distance winners in the race either. I was going to go each way, but I'll have to go 2 points win at the prevailing odds.
6-1 Paddy's Betfair. Yeah, it's all right, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll do.
Yeah, okay, nice one. John goes to Ireland for his second bet. Nev, coming to you for your 2-pointer, please.
My 2-pointer, staying at Warwick, and it's a cracking Grade 2 Novices chase where all 5 horses are quality. Broadway Boy's done absolutely nothing wrong this season, but I'm not going to go for him. I think his penalties are going to take their toll. And right at the bottom of the weights, the 7-year-old lightly raced mare Apple Away gets all the allowances, and she's my selection. She finished third, and she's strictly held on the book by Grey Dawning on their Haydock efforts on the 25th of November. But that was first time over fences for Apple Away, and she absolutely sluiced up at Leicester. And it was only a 3-horse race, and perhaps her 2 rivals underperformed to a certain extent. If they didn't underperform, then she's an absolute machine because she beat them 31 lengths plus. But she was a good hurdler. She was a genuine Grade 1 performing hurdler. Last season she won at Aintree in the highest grade. And all those weight allowances that she gets, it's too tempting not to have her on your side. I am concerned, and sometimes maybe pay too much attention to jockeys and conditionals who can't claim. But Patrick Wadge isn't able to draw his allowance in this race. Whether that'll make a difference or not, I'm not sure. But she's such a class act, getting all that weight, and she could be a genuine Cheltenham contender. So I'm going my second best of the weekend, Apple Away.
Lovely, 9-4 generally available. That goes in the Hampton at Warwick, the 224. Yeah, she's currently just about joint favourite with Grey Dawning and Broadway Boy close in. The Changing Man attracting money into 6-1. We'll go through that race in more detail later on. I'll come to my 2-point, which is a split stake selection. Split stake wankering time. In the 3 o'clock, the classic chase. The 2 in question, it's really boring, but the market's spot on. But I still think these are the 2 to concentrate on. Melina Girl and Guetapan Calonjas, 5-1 and 7-1. I think those are the 2 to be with. Connor Stonewall, she's just super value for his claim. And Melina Gill would have beaten Broadway Boy at Cheltenham if she'd have stood up. She was absolutely travelling all over them when she came down there. Before that, she nearly ran through the boards at the top of the hill. She got that much carrots in. She looks absolutely top draw. Really big mare, nothing not to like. Stays forever, travels well, which you need to do at Warwick. You need to be a travelly thing. You don't want to be shoved along there. Fences down the back will catch you out if you're outpaced. And so nothing not to like about that. Guetapan Calonge was third in the race where she beat that rival, but didn't look busy to me. Not really bothered. £11 better off, but obviously there was no claimer on that day. So with Connor's claim on Melina Girl, that takes £6 swinging the weights for Guetapan, and obviously that'll be more off. Does jump a shade to the right, which is off-putting, but has won round here, and I just think that this horse is probably ready to strike in a race like this. So 1 point win on each, 5-1 Melina, 7-1 Guetapan Calonge. Adam Norman.
Yeah, mine's in the 3 o'clock as well, Lee. It's Fontaine Calonge.
Yes.
Yeah, I think this mare is ready to step up again. She always smacked it as a stayer to me when she was running over 2.5 over fences a couple of years ago. It's been a steady sort of incline. She's 7 from 17 under rules. It's a great strike rate, much like Get Upon Calonge, who's you can't really knock him out of the equation. I totally get what your point. I just think this Fontaine Calonge, she's just got loads of scope for improvement. Your man Deutsch on, very impressive at Weatherby on Boxing Day. I know that the race has fallen apart, but I know you want a horse that travels. I want a horse that can travel and stay, and I just think she's got bundles of stamina, and she's the one I preferred. I mean, we need a bit of luck in these kind of races, and she's the one I landed on. I'm going to go win only, Lee. So it's a 2-pointer at around 8-1, I think. Yeah.
9-1 with Bet Victor Coral and Ladbrokes for you, Adam. So yeah, nice price. So we'll hopefully between us we'll land the winner of that. Send someone happy anyway. What do you think, listeners? Do you agree? So here we go on the 3 pointers. This is your lucky 15 round, definitely. With the calibre of guests we've got on tonight, this is where you should be doing your multis, and hopefully we'll come up with some fantastic choices. I'll lead us off with a klaxon. 224, Apple away, agreeing with racehorse trainer Neville Ender, because what he said, nothing really to add. Apart from, I'd like to add to what Neville said, is that the Warwick ground's going to ride slow tomorrow. The going stick suggests that, even though it's been drying a little bit, it's still very wet there, obviously. And I think that's key to Apple away. She likes to get some toe in. And Haydock didn't suit her because the ground that day was artificially advertised as wrong, which is unusual for Haydock to get the ground description wrong. It was more like good to soft it rode that day. And obviously, this is going to be soft to heavy. And I think that's the swinger with weight she receives. Also, give credit to old flame hair, Lucinda Russell, who decided to run the Class 3 conditions race for a next run to give her more experience and escapes the penalty. Because if you win a Class 2 race, you get penalised for this. So obviously shrewd from the Scudamore and the flame-haired one with Apple away. So yeah, 3 points win, max bets, Apple away, 9-4. Should be around the 13-8, 6-4 mark is the true price on that one to kick us off. Right.
We're getting very polite on here. Old flame hair.
Yes.
I know what that would have been a few months back.
Yeah, we do our bit, don't we?
Even though our apple clean it, no sweat there.
And I got told off by Nev on old thatch roof earlier on, so I've turned it down a bit. Adam Norman, come with your 3 points, please, to set off the lucky 15.
Okay, Lee Keys, here we go. Warwick again, 3:35, the Veterans Final. This has been brought across from the cancelled Sundown meeting. I really fancy this. I kind of jumped out of my seat when I saw the price. It has been nibbled at by me and others. It's Lord de Mayneel, ridden by Lily the Pink, who we're big fans of. I just think everything's just absolutely perfect for this horse. I'd preferred it to be wetter, actually. It's got a lot of heavy ground form at Haydock. And I'm sure they could have gone there this spring for those, those marathon races. They've opted to come here. I just think it'll be ideal. There's loads of pace on here. It's the bare 3 miles. I think there's a lot of front runners, a lot of pace. I think it tends to be held up. Was too far out his ground last time from Gavin Sheehan round Cheltenham over 2.5. That was nowhere near far enough. Stage 3.5. It just sets up perfectly, and just turned 11. So although he's got plenty of miles on the clock, he's just admirably consistent. Seems to be holding his form really well. That's pretty much it. I'm just really super confident about this. Lord de Mayneel in the 3:35.
Yeah, 11-1 for you, Adam. Are you each way wankering for 5?
No, it's win only, mate.
3 on the nose, of
yeah,
course.
Very confident. Yeah.
Yeah, 11-1. That's with Entain for Adam. John, what do you think to Lily Pinching, sorry.
Lily the Pink.
What do you think to her as a rider? She's a good rider, isn't she?
Saviour of the human race.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right, coming to you then, John. Thank you, Adam, for that lovely selection there at a price. John, for your 3-pointer?
Everybody got decent prices. I'm going to bugger it up here now for everybody. 12.55 at Kempton. Gentle Slopes. This one might not have seen it out on his last start for Milt in January last year. Now, whichever way you look at the Constitution Hill situation, this is a trainer upgrade, there's no question of that. Milt had high hopes for this one after he won the second time for him. I quote, "He's a proper horse, he's not a bumper horse, he's a jumper." So I'd say we'd go hurdling with him, and I'm thinking of the Shallow. So it was along those lines back then. And then he said he's not just a handicap, and here we are in what I think is a fairly shit 8, to be honest. And the horse is 7 now, 8 next year. Endo could have probably kicked on and gone novice chasing, but...
You've slipped that in, haven't you? You've slipped that in. He's 7 now. You fucker. Right.
And I think this is still Rallyo, to be honest. I'd make this odds on, to be honest, so I'm going 3 points win.
3 points on the nose for John, and he sly digs there at me. 7-4 for Nicky Henderson on the trainer change, and Jim Bowen in the saddle.
Yeah.
Let's hope you.
Let's see what you could have won.
Indeed, gentle slopes for John. And to finish the round, no less, after those 3 excellent selections, well, 2 excellent selections.
Yeah.
He's Nev Ender. Come on, Nev, hit us with it.
3-pointer goes at Kempton in the 3:15 race. There have been 6 declared. I think only 5 will run because Western Zephyr has run on Friday and was well beaten. Pepe Lamoco for Jane Williams his form has been upgraded since his second last time out at Plumpton. All right, Plumpton and Kempton are poles apart in terms of class, but Pepe Lamoco beat a horse called Scarface, who has since gone on to Frank Reform, and the horse that finished 6th, Godot, has also gone on to Frank Reform. True, Pepe Lamoco has gone up in the handicap by £3 for getting beaten, but he's only lightly raced. The opposition don't look particularly strong. In fact, you can pick holes in most of them. The Paul Nicholls horse, Captain Matan, never ran its race at all last time out. Tokidoki was coming back off a break and is a 10-year-old and was soundly beaten on his reappearance. And there doesn't look to be that much opposition. I think Pepe Lamoco will probably win off a good mark for the informed Jane Williams. The price is going to be a little bit disappointing. I don't know what price it'll be, but I can't imagine it's going to be much.
What would be value for you, Nev?
Anything over 2-1 would be value.
13-8, Nev. That's with
Go on.
you. Oh, what a card you are, Nev. 13-8. If Nev says 2-1's value, it means 11-10 probably evens is the true price.
3-8 is fair, isn't it?
Yeah, Nev's in at that. Nev's playing at that, really. 13-8 for Nev to finish the round. So, a couple of short prices there. Well, 3 short prices in gentle slopes. Apple Away and Nev selection Pepe Lamoco, with 1 chucked in from Adam at 11s for the Classic. So, interesting 3-point round. Right, it's TV time. 8 races they've managed to put on tomorrow. They must be getting bored to put 8 races on. But anyway, there we go. I thought the 130 at Kempton could have been left out. That was the handicap chase there. It's a 0-145, but it's not great. In fact, we'll start there, actually. We'll go to Kempton first. 130, it's the Coral handicap chase. 0-145 race, 7 runners. Bit really 5-2 Phlegmatic is the favourite. Chianti Classico second at 11-4. The informed Mel Rowley trains Latitude, that's 5-1. Gustavian, who looked to have a hard race last time, is 6s. Durasha Counter, and yes, chaps, who's got an opinion on this one?
Yeah, I've got an opinion. I thought there was a good bet here. Phlegmatic is a horse I want to take on routinely, really quite hard to deliver at the right time. Hasn't won for getting on 2 years now. Not a massive fan of Tristan Durrell, I must say. Doesn't seem to have progressed much over the last few months. I'll take on Phlegmatic all day. And I'm going to take him on with Latitude. I thought he was a good bet. As Nev said, the Rowley horse is going well. A couple of winners at Donny, one in these colours. This horse has won round here before. I think this could be quite a decent horse. He's improving all the time and pretty consistent. This ground will suit him perfectly. Good to soft. He'll just get on the lead. I think he's a good bet at 5-1. He was almost in my 3, but that was my view. I like Chianti Classico. He was the one I thought Bass would perhaps stay down to ride, but they've got Cobden, fair enough. But I think this one would much prefer softer ground, Lee. So I'll take those on.
And by the way, the Kempton ground tomorrow, just for punters, just so you don't get confused, is the chase course is going to ride ridiculously quicker than the hurdles course. The hurdles course is going to ride probably soft and dead. The chase course will probably be good by post time tomorrow. It's really dried out fast. They're going 7.3 this afternoon. Anything above that, well, anything near that now is already good. So ignore the good to soft. This will be good ground come post time tomorrow for the chasers, just as a punting pointer. And Latitude, I agree with Adam.
Yeah, I think they might pull out Chianti Classico. I hope he stands his ground, but I think Bailey was a bit concerned after Ascot last time that was on drying ground. I'm not sure they'll want to do that again too often, but we'll have to see.
That's quite a high stick. You get to 7.8 at Kempton, that's quick cider good. That's summer ground. So at 7.3, you ain't far off. Nev, thoughts on this?
Well, it's already been mentioned about Kim Bailey's horse who's been out of form, and I've just had a look at his runners in the last 14 days, and it is pretty miserable reading. And this horse is a very promising horse, Chianti Classico. He's won more times than he's got beaten. Off 142, he would have to be very nearly his best. So he would be one I would take on. What would I take him on with? Well, Durashi Counter might be rerouted to Warwick for the more valuable race. I wasn't impressed with Phlegmatic last time. I thought he looked a difficult ride, and think if Harry Skelton couldn't win on him, then this other kid will struggle. I've no real opinion, in all honesty.
Fair play. John?
Just lay the piss out of Phlegmatic.
That's what we like to hear. Normski against it, Lengi against it. That's it. There's only one thing. It pisses up. Right, 207. The Silviniaco Conti chase. Yeah, the 2.5 miler. This is quite a nice little race, to be fair. Let's hope there's not non-runners galore or anything, because this is quite an intriguing little contest. Banbridge will love the ground. I think Edward Stone's not the horse he was, and forget the 164. He's probably running £10 below that, I would say. Pete Doherty, a strangely big price, I felt, at 3-1 currently, because he's a flat track bully, and if he gets a lonesome on the front end, this is where he does the damage. That's his skill. Gets left alone front end, just eats these for fun. But I'd be intrigued to get your opinion, lads. Adam, Nev, John, what we thinking here?
Well, Pete Doherty last year, and he won it very easily, and both his races round Kempton has been winning ones. The weights are, you wouldn't say they were in his favour, but they're not that far against him. I think there's question marks whether Edward Stone will stay this far. He's never raced beyond 2 miles and a little bit further than that. So there's a question mark there. I'm not absolutely 100% convinced his jumping is that of a Grade 1 performer, but I would be against Edward Stone for the fact that he's going up in trip. Banbridge hasn't been seen out for a long time, and again, he would be, in theory, he's the worst horse in the race on official ratings. I thought not long till May was the danger to pick Doherty. Not long till May will be one of the bigger prices in the race, and does get a handy weight allowance off the others. But I'm going to stick with Pick Doherty to beat Not Long in May.
I think Pete Doherty's definitely the pick now at the prices. 9-4 was the early show. 3-1 currently as we record.
Would the ground be a problem?
I don't think so. I think he'll be fine. Yeah, I think he goes okay on this sort of surface. Nichols always seems to target him. Ascot and Kempton and places like that a lot of times. So I'm thinking if you do that, you know for a fact that you ain't going to get like true boggy ground, because Ascot's the same. Ascot chase tracks, like that's where they put tents on for summer meeting at the Royal Meet. They all lays on that, quaffing champagne on scorched turf. Yeah, that's where I'm at anyway. So I'd be Banbridge possibly is interesting, but I agree with Nev also. It does unnerve me whether he is good enough, but we'll see. But Pete Doherty would be my bet. Adam?
Oh, yeah, I think you could talk about this all day, couldn't you? Tricky. I think I'd prefer to take Pick Doherty on personally with what.
Yep.
I'm not entirely sure. Was it Fry that said that Edward Stone was crying out for further these days?
She might have done.
I think she might have mentioned that. It's a bit late in the day to be doing that, but this slightly slower pace may suit it. May help its jumping. It's hard to fault the beast. It's nearly £500,000 in prize money. I wouldn't be writing it off too soon, but it's hard to see any kind of value. I can see there's been nibbles for Not Long in May or Not Long Till May. It's tricky. It's a race to savour, lads.
It is. It's a gin and pate race, John. What's your thoughts here, mate?
I think they'll probably give Pick Doherty so much rope on the front end, to be honest.
That's the play, because the way I see it is that it'll be Pete Doherty leading, Not Long Till May, and Banbridge just on its shoulders. So that's your sort of scenario. You could
Well,
nick
I think you
even
can have a monkey on pick die now and nick a point.
3 to 1's too big because
Yeah.
that's the definite front runner for
You
me.
get a monkey at threes and then get out at toes.
Yeah, I think not long till May and Banbridge just sit Andy in second and third, and I think that's it. Yeah, that's probably the right play, the right call. 242, of course, the Lanzarote. Mark of Gold is my choice, as already mentioned. So I'd be interested to hear where all your thoughts lie on this. Nev, I'll come to you first.
Well, you can probably pass on me because I just couldn't make any head or tail of this. I just had no idea.
Tough race.
I
It
didn't
is.
think there was anything that looked remotely well handicapped.
You concede, though, that the Martin Pipe form, if you look at the Martin Pipe form from last year, it's so strong. I mean, Hiroko, had he not got injured, I know he's gone over fences, different discipline, but he was touted to be the way he won at Warwick. The other horses, Imagine, it's a stronger Martin Pipe last year than in recent times. So for that reason alone, I think it's justified at that sort of price for Mark of Gold. But anyway, Adam?
Yeah, I'm with Nev. It's way above my pay grade, mate. I've looked into the Mark of Gold bet that you put up, and I'm happy to throw it in the Yankee tomorrow.
Yeah.
I think it's got as good a chance as any. But there was quite a few I wasn't that keen on. I'll be honest with you. I don't think there's that many snipers at bigger odds that I'd be too concerned about. But as I say, it's not my area of expertise. I'll be honest.
No, but of course, for you punters at home, if you're getting 6 and 7 places, it's probably a race you want to try and attack. And if you have bookies accounts these days, it's worth looking at. John?
Well, I've thrown in with the anti-post bet. After you put it up, I went, had a look at Mark of Gold. There was nothing not to like, really. I mean, he even managed to make Quayle look good at Goodwood.
Yeah, he did.
So I've thrown in there, and I don't feel uneasy about it at all. I'm quite happy with my bet.
Now, what I would say, I mean, I've gone 1 point win, but I'd say if people can get 6 places or even the 7 places, do that because it's a daft offer and you're on value no matter what. Even if it runs shit, you've done the right thing. Right, we'll move on from Kempton and we'll do the one race at Weatherby, which is the Towton Novices Chase. Nice little race, this. Maybe not be blessed with quality that you probably desire, but I agree with Adam in a way. Colonel Larry was on my 5 to follow for the season, and obviously he's won already. But to have an horse that short at 8 to 11 that's tackling a trip for the first time, ran a weird race, I felt, against Le Patron because he got strangely outpaced and ran on. So people say, well, he wants further then, but I'm not so sure because this horse seems to cope with 2 mile and soft ground very well over hurdles. Is he as good as his rating implies? There's question marks to ask. Adam rightfully said about Trelawn. Kim Bailey holds this in mega regard because he couldn't have it beat at Carlisle when it won up there off a mark of 136. Disappointed a little bit last time, if I'm honest. But again, this is the thing with the Bailey Yard. They're sort of struggling at the moment. And I don't know. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to stick a twist on this. It's a tricky old affair. So Adam's had his say. I've had my say. Neville, where are you at?
I like Colonel Harry as a prospect, and he has proven himself. I know it's different, but he did win an Irish point to point when he was a very young horse. So stamina is a question mark. He did finish second in a Utoxeter maiden hurdle over the 2 mile 4. He probably is the best horse in the race on hurdles form. Trelawn, I thought, looked very impressive at Carlisle and didn't do anything wrong last time. But the outperform Kim Bailey does worry me terribly. I don't know. The biggest surprise in the world, would it, if one of the other two won it? The Towton is notorious for having small fields, and there were 6 declared. 2 of them have already been withdrawn. I don't know. You sometimes get a real class act. I don't think we've got a real class act in it this year. It's probably but you look at all these novice and beginners chasers. It's a joke. You've got the first race at Warwick on Saturday, 2 runners, 20 grand race, 4 runners in this Grade 2 race. Very disappointing.
It is. And there's no wonder that Gavin Cromwell, he said he was going to specifically target in future a lot of his runners over here because the races are that weak for the money compared to Ireland that he may as well just run them over here.
half these races in Ireland, these beginners chases, you've got potential Grade 1 winners in because Mullins has got so many horses to run, and so too has Gordon Elliott. You can bump into a Grade 1 horse whereas in this country you're not going to bump into one. You're unlikely to, aren't you? But I think it's just, I don't know. They're going to have to do something because it's just £40,000 rate, 22.5 grand to the winner, and there's 4 being declared.
I mean, they've changed the race distances. It used to be 3 miles, didn't it? They brought it down. They brought it down 5 furlongs, presumably in a bid to attract bigger fields, but that's backfired. I don't know where all the horses are. I mean, that Warwick race is just mind blowing. It's 10 grand to the winner, a limited handicap chase for novices. Why there's not 12 or 14, I do not know. I mean, trainers have got to step up and tell us what they need because the races are there. If they haven't got the horses, then the game really is in turmoil, isn't it? Because we've been talking about this for eons and nothing changes. So there you go.
Yeah, John, thoughts on all what's been said there and this race, of course.
I agree with every word that's been said about the fail sizes. As regards the race, if somebody put a gun to my head and said I had to play a backyard Larry because the Bailey Yard's in shocking form, but I won't be betting on it.
No, fair play. We go to Warwick. There's 4 on the TV there. 149 is the Pertemps. Nev has sided with Kintara. Could just still have a little bit more to offer off 124. I sort of agree with selection. The Gordon Elliott mare, I don't think looks that well in off 132. You always fear the Irish runners because they've got such a good record. But I would be with Nev here. I think this will be out in front. And I like Charlie Dutch from the front. So nothing not to like about Nev's selection, really. Adam?
Yeah, Aintree wasn't that strong a race. He had it all pretty much to himself out front. It was bottomless, absolutely bottomless, and they all sort of held them together until the last, the last 2 or 3 hurdles, and most of them just sort of fell in a bit of a heap, and he just kept ploughing away. His jumping was poor. I think he was probably just dossing, but he can't afford to get away with that kind of stuff here. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't particularly like many of the others, so you keep coming back to him really. And 3-1 solid enough.
Interesting. Nev, obviously we know yours. John?
I'd probably side with Nev. I don't think old Chunky's going to want to win a qualifier, is he?
Chunky. Look, she's a nice mare, but she's also got to prove herself that she's stamina laden. I suppose the pedigree lends itself to that. She's related to, the mother was related to abolitionist that was a strong stayer. Who knows?
Little noddle around at the back and run on nicely into 4th or 3rd, maybe.
Maybe. Who knows what the plans is? That's the problem with these Pertemps, but we'll see. I mean, the thing is, I'm surprised, like Nev said, I'm surprised there's only 8 runners. These used to be 16, 17 runner fields. And the Irish had come over. I'm sure the Stayers Hurdle winners ran 4th in this before.
This used to be massive back in the day.
Yeah.
They've changed the conditions, substantially, haven't they? You had to get what didn't you have to finish in the first 6 at one point to qualify?
Yeah.
I mean, at one point, all you had to do was declare. I mean, there used to be about 8 non-runners.
Yeah.
In every race, you just have to declare, and that got you in the race. So they've changed it dramatically, haven't they?
Yeah. Right. We'll move on then. 224 race, the Hampton. Me and Nev have asthmatics horsed with Apple away at the 9-4 with the race conditions really suit her. But interesting to hear Adam and John's opinion. Adam?
Hard to know with Apple away, like Nev says. What did she achieve? I'm not a time buff. Surely the clock will tell you more about her achievement that day. Wodge rode her actually to win I think it was a listed race at Donny last year without the claim. He's very, very good value for the 3 right now. I wouldn't be against it because of his inexperience. I mean, everyone had to go at Skelton for almost decking Grey Dawning, but I'm not quite as harsh on Harry as most people. I can, isn't this supposed to be their best novice? So, and it's their local track. he'll be well up for it. I got Broadway Boy completely wrong. I laid it every which way last time. I thought it had a savage race back in November.
Was a lucky winner. Melina Gill would have thrashed it.
Yeah, I couldn't really believe no one tried to get it out of its rhythm. We made one mistake, but the lad on was it Cobden on 300-5 just sat back. It might just get an easy. Will it get an easy on the front again? I don't know if they'll take it on, but I think
It could do.
my view was that Broadway Boy would fade as the season progressed in true Twister style. I think he's done plenty of running in his 4 runs so far. He's been on the go since September,
Not missed the dance, Adam, has he?
No, exactly. And I think, I mean, if you like laying horses, I think I'd be happy to lay him at sort of 3-1, and have the rest running for me. It's probably not the brightest bet in the world, but as Nev says, she just gets a £5 allowance from the geldings, and Broadway Boy's got a penalty, and so's Grey Dawning, so she deserves to be there. She's probably the bet. I wouldn't disagree with Nev, but I would take on Broadway Boy.
Right, lovely. John, to finish.
I don't really have a firm opinion on this, other than I agree 100% with Adam about the likelihood of the Twister horse fading as the season goes on. I won't be having a bet in the race.
Right, Classic Chase. Myself and Adam sit this one out. We've already spoken on this. Nev, thoughts on the Classic Chase?
I'm going to be... Well, I'm not going to put a strong selection, but I actually thought...
Nev, before you started there, you sounded like you just put down a copy of Razzle.
I put down a cock.
No, a copy of Razzle magazine.
Oh, I don't know what that is. Is it a racing magazine?
Yeah.
Hey, God no.
Right, Nev, carry on.
Different types of bacon now.
City Chief is my selection, and it's only a tentative one, but he's been like your race over fences. I don't believe that we've seen the best of him, but he didn't perform that badly last time. He got beat 10 lengths in that hot handicap at Cheltenham that we've just been speaking about, which Broadway Boy won. He finished 4th in another hot handicap at Cheltenham prior to that, off 142. His form ties in pretty much with several of these, but I don't believe we've seen the best of him. But then again, it's a very tough race, and it looks like none of the Henderson jockeys want to prefer to go elsewhere rather than ride him. Robbie Dunn doesn't often ride for Nicky Henderson, I don't think. I can't remember him riding for him before. But
no, the stopper done. I'm one for Nicky Henderson.
You can give a chance to virtually everything.
I think he dropped the towel and Endo was impressed.
In the sauna, in the changing room, with the...
He said, have a look at this.
Yeah, with the rope.
Yeah, he's showing it to Bryony, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Allegedly.
I love how you've come out with that. That's brilliant. Showing it to Bryony. He did, doing helicopters with it in the old changing room. Yeah, that's what they do.
Was he reading Razzle, whatever that is?
Yeah.
I couldn't him. That's where he got his master plan from.
This is brilliant. John, can we finish the classic, please?
Gladly. I'm just with Melina Girls. I thought she'd have pissed up last time.
I think she's cracking, massive mare. It's what you want. It's like Bella Emberg, this one. The 335 is the finale, thankfully, and it's John's favourite, the Veterans, John.
Okay.
John, I'm going to campaign for Veterans Nationals in the calendar.
Get fucked.
What's wrong with a good old veteran ploughing his for the public? It's what a sight.
Look at the fucking gear here tomorrow. Look at it.
I'm just looking how many he's got headgear in the race. So what we got here? We've got
cheap pieces, everywhere you look.
Blinkers, visors.
McIver was getting all this lot out. He could retire on Sunday.
So any view here, John?
Yeah. Avoid these sour bastards at all costs.
I'm sure Nev's got a different view though, Nev.
Well, I wouldn't put anybody off I right. I think he's the class act in the race, and I've been very impressed by Dylan Johnston, who rides, who was based in the North last season, but he's now with...
Ollie Murphy.
Is it Ollie Murphy? Yeah. He's a great £7 claimer. Really good value. He can't be far off losing it, going down to 5. But this horse, all right, he's a veteran, and we've probably seen the best of him. But his form this season has been pretty good. Didn't get beat far at Warwick last time or at Chepstow the time before, and his mark of 150 gives him a fighting chance. With that £7 off, he's running off 143, which would make him, if he was genuinely running off 143 with a professional on, you'd say he was thrown in, wouldn't you? So I'm going to go with I right, but they're not really my type of races to get involved in, really.
You make a fair case there, to be fair to it. I write for Nev, and obviously Adam with his bumper nap. Maynil, Lily Pinken in the saddle. I'm going to decline to put up anything for this race because I have absolutely zero edge. I don't know what I'm doing on this race at all. No idea. It's the gym will be out by then, and Sheffield Wednesday and Southampton will be on the screen. We hope you've enjoyed this tremendous show. We've had a lot of laughs as always. It's not totally shit. And please give us a like and a follow on Twitter. Join YouTube, make us more money. Join Edge, join Patreon, do it all. That's all from me, John, Nev and Adam. Bye for now.